At Border Control, we are passionate to get more people board riding. Border Control is a revolutionary patented braking concept for skateboards and snowboards. Border Control gives the rider more control, stability and confidence when learning to ride. This week at StreetBoardz, we've been conducting a university study with Victoria University Sports Science Department to test a new way of teaching snowboarding with new equipment. The new method and equipment is called Border Control. The brake makes beginners feel safe by controlling their speed and providing a third point of contact. Beginner snowboarders need to learn edge control to turn and stop their boards. Border Control gives them the confidence to get onto their edges sooner.
The brakes certainly helped slow me down. Yeah, so I could get a bit more control over what I was doing.
Generally, snowboard tuition begins with side slipping, which requires a steeper terrain that can be intimidating to the beginner. Border Control gets riders going straight ahead right from the start, which only requires a gentle descent. This means less steep, less speed, less panic and less falls.
Having control over the board going straight, I think they weren't intimidated about picking up the speed or anything.
By using the four line, beginners quickly attempt 90-degree J turns and avoid starting with the more intimidating 180-degree turn. They will learn to turn with ease.
I think the brakes made it a lot easier to pick it up. Pretty much after the first half a day, managed to get around to some J turns and actually get down a run, which is pretty cool.
Beginners cover more distance, making life easier for the instructors and more interesting for the beginner. During our testing, participants covered 3 times more terrain during a lesson than the beginners in the traditional groups.
We were sort of able to use it so that as we're going down, you can sort of slow down and get a bit more control. And yeah, I just found it really accelerated my learning in terms of snowboarding.
Fantastic. The leash stabilises the rear arm, preventing beginners from over-rotating their shoulders when learning to turn. This induces beginners to favour their heels, toes and edges. As the rider advances, using the leash without the brake helps them to maintain body alignment when initiating turns. Take it too steep and the brake won't stop you. Border Control is designed to get you to learn the basic principles of snowboarding on very gentle terrain. Use Border Control to initiate a series of J turns on a gentle slope. The beginner should master edge control in no time, and after practicing many J turns, side slipping will come easily, sometimes even automatically.
It gave me the less fall. I think that if I didn't have a brake, I'd be falling a lot more than what I did, and that'd probably turn me off a bit.
Have the beginner use the brake to hold position on the gentle 4-line slope. Get them to release the brake, press into their toes or heels to initiate turns, and then brake again at the end of the turn. The beginner will now be set up to attempt the next J turn.
I did some snowboarding for about 2 hours, I think about 10 years ago, and gave it up straight away, but it's really made it much easier.
Has it?
Made me want to keep going on with snowboarding and finding it much better.
As the beginner progresses, we recommend slowly weaning the beginner away from the brake, alternating one run with the brake, one run without. This way, the beginner will progress moderately and safely.
It really actually progressed the athletic people a lot as well, and they got to turn in within the first half an hour, which normally would take a couple of hours.
Basically at the start of day 2, we stopped using the leash completely and started on some blue runs, which is pretty incredible.
Excellent.
We just finished some blue runs then without crashing, so I'm pretty impressed with that as well.
So you're making it down the run without falling after a couple of days, linking turns together. That's insane.
Exactly.
I found as a teacher it was less physically demanding. I had my board on the entire lesson. I never had to take it off and run up the hill and hold hands, and we kind of just kept, the pace was really quick.